Are you tired of chasing that next big beauty trend, only for it to disappear almost as quickly as it arrived? One moment it's all about latte makeup, glazed donut skin, or the perfect cherry cola lip combo, and the next, it's as if the entire internet collectively decided to forget it ever existed. And if you're anything like me, you probably have a drawer full of products, shades, textures, and techniques that were mandatory just a year ago, but now feel strangely obsolete, like relics of trends we barely had time to enjoy. Remember that must-have lipstick shade everyone swore you needed a few years ago? The one that influencers said was universally flattering? Somehow it's already considered over. It's wild how fast these cycles move. But what if this constant chase isn't just harmless experimentation, or the fun of switching up your aesthetic? What if it's something far more unsettling? Something quietly shaping how we see ourselves, our faces, and our value without us ever realizing it. Because here's the strange thing. For most of history, beauty standards shifted slowly, drifting from one generation to the next like long cultural seasons. Victorian rosy cheeks lasted decades. The 1920s Cupid bow lip defined an era. Even the thin brows of the early 2000s lingered for nearly 10 years, before the pendulum swung back. But today, a look can dominate TikTok for mere months, sometimes weeks, before vanishing into an algorithm abyss. The speed is dizzying, and it's not random. This acceleration is engineered, it's designed, and it has everything to do with how platforms profit from our insecurities, our aspirations, and our desire to stay current in a world that moves faster than we can emotionally process. So in today's video essay, we're going to slow down and take a closer look, not at the trends themselves, but at the machine behind them. Because once you understand why beauty trends now move at such a hyper speed, and the truth behind the cycle that keeps us buying, discarding, updating, and repeating, your makeup bag, your beauty routine, and even your reflection in the mirror will never look the same. This is the unsettling truth about cosmetic trend cycles. And once you see how the beauty world really works, you can't unsee it. And hello everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to my channel. You know, something I've literally been thinking about lately is how to unwind at the end of the day without falling into the same old habits. For me, I love the ritual of having a drink in the evening, but I don't always want alcohol, the poor sleep, or the next day fog. So I've been looking for an option that still feels relaxing and social, but leaves me clear-headed. And that's why I'm excited to have Kava Haven as the sponsor for today's video. Kava Haven is a kava-infused non-alcoholic spirit that helps you relax and unwind without alcohol. Each serving contains 150 milligrams of CO2 extracted lactones, which promote a gentle, calm, social vibe without the hangover, poor sleep, or sluggish feeling that come with drinking. One interesting thing about kava is that it actually builds reverse tolerance, so the more consistently you use it, the less you typically need to feel the effects. You might also notice a slight tingling or numbing sensation on your tongue. That's totally normal and part of the traditional kava experience. The flavors are refreshing lemon ginger, and it's delicious on its own or mixed into a mocktail. Personally, I've been using it in the evenings to wind down or when I'm out with friends, and I love that it gives you that relaxed, social feeling without any of the downsides of alcohol. And customers love it too. One 5-star reviewer said, "This has completely upgraded my evening routine, helps me relax without feeling groggy the next morning." Another person wrote, "I finally found an alcohol-free option that tastes amazing and actually helps me unwind." Kava Haven is committed to quality using pure, noble kava root, all natural ingredients, and third-party lab testing for every batch. And because Kava Haven is sponsoring today's video, when you click the link in the description box or scan the QR code, you'll get 15% off your first order. It's an exclusive deal you won't get anywhere else. So click the link, try Kava Haven, and discover a new way to relax and socialize today. Chapter 1, the algorithmic acceleration of aesthetics. Beauty used to move with the seasons, slowly, predictably, almost ritualistically. Spring ushered in soft pastels, fall welcomed deeper jewel tones, and runway shows were like small earthquakes that sent tremors through the industry months later. Trends had time to breathe, to evolve, to become part of a personal expression rather than dictate it. But today, the rhythm has changed entirely. A beauty trend can go viral on TikTok at breakfast and become a global aesthetic mandate by lunchtime. The clean girl, latte makeup, the cherry cola lips, tomato girl summer, strawberry makeup, sugar plum fairy aesthetic. These aren't trends in the traditional sense. They're micro trends designed to be digested quickly, replicated instantly, and forgotten almost as soon as they appear. They're not movements, they're consumables. And the reason they spread so quickly comes down to one simple fact. TikTok didn't just accelerate beauty trends. It flattened them. Short-form content thrives on novelty, on constant visual stimulation, on the idea that something newer, shinier, and more clickable is always just one swipe away. Instead of seasonal cycles, we now live inside a perpetual beauty roulette, where every day brings a new must-try look, a new hack, a new era to enter. Influencers have adapted to survive inside the system. Reinvention isn't optional, it's required. Their job depends on being the first to announce, demonstrate, and embody the next big thing, even if that means creating trends out of almost nothing. A lipstick plus gloss becomes latte lips. A red blush in cold weather becomes snow girl makeup. But the true unsettling part lies beneath the surface of the speed. AI-driven algorithms curate your experience before you even know what you like. The moment you engage with one beauty video, one lip tutorial, one get ready with me, one product review, the algorithm begins enclosing you inside a digital echo chamber where the same brows, the same contour placement, the same 3 makeup products appear over and over again. It masquerades as personalization, but what it really does is standardize taste. The more you watch, the more uniform the content becomes. You might think you're discovering beauty inspiration, but the truth is you're being funneled towards the same singular homogenized aesthetic thousands of viewers are seeing. This is where the illusion of choice becomes painfully clear. We don't just choose trends choose us. What rises to the top isn't what's most creative, it's what's most clickable. The algorithm pushes faces that are symmetrical, smooth, softly lit, and aspirational. It evaluates aesthetics that are easily shoppable and instantly replicable. And behind the scenes beauty trends, not just creators, shape what gets promoted. Sponsored content is woven seamlessly into everyday videos. Filters subtly improve makeup looks, making products seem more effective than they are. AI identifies which colors and looks perform best and pushes them onto millions of For You pages, creating a feedback loop that makes the popular become inevitable. And the impact is quiet but profound. To stay relevant, you must constantly update your face. Makeup becomes less about artistry and more about adaptation. Your appearance turns into a living algorithm, one that requires maintenance, investment, and vigilance. You're no longer simply wearing makeup, you're performing it, curating it, optimizing it, existing inside a trend that never stops, never slows, and never lets you rest. This is the algorithmic acceleration of aesthetics, an era where beauty feels less like a personal ritual and more like a treadmill you can't step off. And the faster the cycle spins, the more we risk losing the very thing beauty was always meant to be, a form of expression, not an obligation. Chapter 2, The Echoes of Eras Past. For all their futuristic speed and algorithmic precision, today's beauty's microtrends are drenched in nostalgia. Every few months a new reinvention appears, yet when you look closely, it's not new at all. The 90s brown lip liner comes back, and suddenly every influencer is explaining how to properly overline your lips, as if women in 1997 weren't doing it effortlessly in dimly lit bathrooms. The early 2000s skinny brow, once ridiculed as a tragic mistake, re-emerges as editorial chic. Old Hollywood bombshell curls, the glamorous armor of women like Veronica Lake and Rita Hayworth are repurposed as old money hair, and even the Victorian obsession with heavily flushed cheeks, once achieved with dangerous pigments containing lead and arsenic, is reborn on TikTok as cold girl makeup, complete with adorably frosted noses and rosy under eyes meant to mimic winter chill rather than tuberculosis. Modern trends are essentially historical reruns with better lighting, better filters, and better marketing. The question is, why does beauty keep looping? The answer lies in the quiet genius of cyclical profit. If everything old can become new again, everything can be sold again. Brands don't need brand new ideas. They just need a fresh vocabulary. A new trend only requires a cute, clickable name to feel like an era. Mob wife makeup is simply the high glam, high drama look worn by 1980s supermodels and 1990s soap opera stars. Clean girl is the minimalist, no makeup aesthetic worn by 1990 Calvin Klein models. Dewy skin, brushed brows, a hint of gloss, an illusion of effortless beauty achieved through very real effort. Latte makeup is a warmer rebrand of the bronze 26 Instagram baddie look, only now it comes with a cozy Starbucks metaphor. The underlying beauty ideals never really change. We rotate in predictable cycles between natural, glam, and retro-inspired, but the packaging, the vocabulary, the aesthetic gloss, those change constantly to make us feel like we're entering an entirely new territory. It's the beauty industry's version of déjà vu. Familiar enough to feel comforting, but renamed just enough to convince us it represents progress. And this rebranding has consequences. It creates the illusion of diversity and innovation, like beauty is becoming more inclusive, more creative, and more expansive. But beneath the shiny surface, the standards remain startlingly consistent. Youthfulness, smoothness, soft femininity, symmetry, a face that appears sculpted yet effortless, enhanced yet natural, polished yet low maintenance, hyper-grooming disguised as simplicity. These are eternal pillars of modern beauty, and no amount of trendy rephrasing truly disrupts them. What changes is the wrapper. We aren't celebrating difference, we're remixing sameness. And each time the cycle loops back around, we're encouraged to participate again, to buy again, to update again, even though we're really just returning to a version of something we've already lived through. Nostalgia becomes a sales strategy, reinvention becomes a marketing technique, and history becomes less of a teacher and more of a catalog for the next viral trend. Because in the world of beauty, the past doesn't stay in the past. It's repurposed, repackaged, and resold over and over again. Chapter 3, the profit-driven illusion of imperfection. If beauty trends are accelerating and the looks themselves are being recycled, then the engine driving all of this relentless momentum becomes painfully clear: profit. Behind every trend, every new aesthetic, every sudden shift in what's considered flattering or desirable, there's a quiet machinery humming in the background. One that depends on women feeling like they're always one product, one treatment, one routine away from being right. Beauty brands have learned a powerful trick. If you can name a problem, you can sell it the cure. And the more niche, the more hyper-specific the flaw, the easier it is to convince consumers they never noticed something wrong, because they didn't know they were supposed to. Suddenly, perfectly normal skin becomes strawberry skin. Natural lines in the face become marionette lines. Creases in the neck from looking down at your phone become tech neck. A winged liner that doesn't perfectly match on both sides becomes angel wing failure. Even the most basic human characteristics like uneven lip borders, dark under eyes, pores, fine lines, or subtle asymmetry are rebranded as issues in need of correction. With each new trend comes a corresponding checklist of micro flaws you're subtly expected to fix. And it doesn't stop at language. The industry has mastered the art of creating problem-solution loops, where the same beauty concern is monetized multiple times over. Take lips, for example. Only a few years ago, brands convinced millions of women that fuller lips were essential to looking youthful and feminine, sparking a boom in lip fillers. Now the same experts are promoting filler dissolvers as women are told that overfilled lips make them look older or dated or somehow unnatural. The profit lies not in the filler, but in both sides of the equation. First they sell the enhancement, then they sell the reversal. Brows follow the same pattern. Microblading was marketed as a miraculous solution to sparse arches. Influencers swore it would change your face forever, but now the industry has pivoted again. Laminated, fluffy, natural brows are trending, and suddenly microblading is considered too harsh. So brow growth serums, peptide-infused oils, and microcurrent devices explode in popularity. First they remove the hair, then they sell the tools to grow it back. Even makeup formulations follow these manipulative cycles. One year brands insist that matte everything is a key to a flawless face. Powder under the eyes, powder on the nose, matte foundation, matte bronzer. We drown in powders. Then the next year they tell you that powder is aging. The secret to youth is dewiness, glow, cream products only, illuminating primers, facial oils. Then inevitably in a few years, dewiness becomes messy, and matte returns as the holy grail. Skin doesn't change, but the profit model does. Every trend's death is an opportunity for a new product wave. is a system that masquerades as evolution, pretending to help women stay current or improve themselves, when in reality it's nothing more than capitalism cosplaying as innovation. Because true innovation doesn't require unnecessary reinvention every 6 months. True beauty products don't need a new aesthetic name to remain relevant. Only trends do. The more the beauty cycle accelerates, the more we're encouraged to buy, knowing full that within months a new palette, a new technique, a new lip combo, a new must-have will take its place. And what we do, we abandon drawers of barely used products, chasing the next look that promises us to feel more current, more beautiful, and more accepted. Buy, discard, repeat. This isn't a failure of personal discipline. It's the business model, a model that thrives on impermanence, a model that depends on women believing they're always in need of an upgrade. And as long as trends continue to accelerate, so will the illusion of imperfection, carefully engineered so we keep trying to fix things that were never flaws in the first place. Chapter 4, The Invisible Scars of Social Media. The impact of today's rapid-fire beauty trend cycles isn't just financial, it's deeply psychological. We are living through an era where more women than ever report body dysmorphia, appearance anxiety, and a kind of aesthetic burnout that feels almost existential. And it's not because beauty itself is harmful. And women have always adored themselves, experimented, embellished, and expressed. The harm comes from the fact that beauty has become performative, public, and perpetually obsolete. We aren't just doing makeup anymore. We're doing makeup for the camera, for the algorithm, for the constantly watching public that expects us to update our faces as quickly as creators push out content. Curated, optimized, filtered faces now set up the standard for what normal looks like. But real faces cannot keep up. They don't shift with microtrends. They don't morph season to season. They don't evolve with the swipe of a finger. And that disconnect creates a quiet but profound self-alienation. You're always catching up, never arriving, never enough. Women describe feeling outpaced by their own reflection as if their natural features are outdated or incompatible with current aesthetics. When beauty changes every few weeks, it becomes impossible to feel stable in your own presentation. There's always a new way to contour, a new blush placement that supposedly flatters everyone, a new brow trend that makes last year's brows look embarrassingly wrong. The goalpost moves so quickly that confidence becomes a condition, a thing you possess only briefly, only until the next trend tells you otherwise. And then there's the financial toll, which is often dismissed as frivolous but is actually a serious pressure. The cost of keeping up with microtrends adds up quickly. Even minimalist beauty, which claims to reduce access, comes with a shopping list of must-have staples. The right tinted moisturizer, the right bronzing drops, the right lip oil, the right gloss topper, the right gold hoops, the right neutral palette. Natural beauty now costs hundreds of dollars. It is not unusual for women to go into debt over hair, skin, lashes, and nails. Not out of vanity, but out of survival in a digital culture where beauty functions as social currency. When having the right look can influence job opportunities, dating prospects, social acceptance, and online visibility, beauty becomes less about pleasure and more about pressure. We're told to be authentic, but also flawless, to embrace natural beauty, but also have poreless, glassy skin, to express ourselves, but only in trends that photograph well. It's an impossible paradox, and one that wears away at our sense of self. Social media has dissolved the boundary between personal appearance and public performance. What used to be intimate, getting ready, choosing an outfit, brushing your hair, has become content, a routine, a brand, a strategy. Even the rituals that once grounded us, the quiet pleasure of doing your makeup slowly or experimenting privately with color, has been absorbed into the machinery of online identity. As your uploaded file explores, the slow, sensory grounding rituals of femininity have been replaced with convenience-first aesthetics and algorithm-friendly routines. Beauty no longer as a personal practice, but as a product of digital efficiency. Beauty once sacred is now scheduled. And the emotional cost of this shift is enormous. When appearance becomes performance, the self becomes fragile. When beauty becomes content, the face becomes a commodity. And in the process, many women lose touch with the simple joy of seeing themselves, not as an aesthetic to optimize, but as a person to recognize. The invisible scars of social media aren't always dramatic. They're subtle, woven into the quiet moments when you second guess a photo, compare your skin texture to strangers, or feel strangely inadequate because your face isn't aligned with the aesthetic of the month. These scars accumulate, forming a kind of emotional sediment that settles deep within us, a constant reminder that in a world of infinite beauty trends, staying enough is a moving target. And that, more than anything, is the true cost of the algorithmic beauty cycle. Chapter 5, Breaking the Cycle, a call for conscious consumption. So how do we step off this treadmill of constantly shifting beauty standards? This cycle spins faster every year, demanding more products, more changes, more self-surveillance. The answer isn't to reject beauty or abandon makeup altogether. For many of us, beauty is language, a form of art, a way to connect with ourselves and the world. Makeup has always been a tool for self-expression, comfort, reinvention, and even rebellion. Beauty isn't the enemy, the system that profits from our insecurity is. What needs questioning is not the act of adorning ourselves, but the machinery that tells us we must continually fix, upgrade, and correct parts of ourselves that were never flawed to begin with. Breaking the cycle begins with something surprisingly simple: awareness. The next time a trend dominates your feed, when every influencer suddenly has the same lip combo, the same bronze glow, the same blush placement, pause for a moment. Recognize that the urgency you feel is manufactured. A trend being everywhere does not make it universal or essential. If you don't feel drawn to the aesthetic, that's not a personal failing. It's your intuition gently reminding you that not every style is meant for every face, and not every shift in beauty culture deserves your participation. Trends only become mandates when you forget that we have a choice. From there, we can begin reclaiming something that should have never been taken from us: personal style. Instead of asking, what's trending right now? Try asking, what feels like me? Style is meant to be cultivated slowly, the way you would build a diary or curate a collection of meaningful memories. It's deeply personal, evolving with your life rather than reacting to the internet's demands. When you build your aesthetic from the inside out, guided by your taste, your features, your experiences, your beauty identity becomes grounded, not fragile. It becomes yours. Another essential part of breaking the cycle is learning to recognize and resist the marketing of invented flaws. If you didn't know you had an issue until a brand or influencer introduced it, odds are you don't. The beauty industry thrives on telling women that their natural features are problems, in need of a $42 solution. But when you step back, you realize how many of those problems are simply new vocabulary designed to trigger insecurity. Your necklines are not tech neck. Your pores are not strawberry skin. Your slightly imperfect eyeliner isn't an angel wing failure. These are normal human traits, not moral failings or beauty emergencies. Instead of consuming beauty reactively, we can choose to shop for longevity, not novelty. Build a makeup bag you return to year after year. Timeless shades, formulations you genuinely love. Tools that feel like extensions of your hands. Seek products that support your personal style, not products tied to short-lived aesthetics. When your beauty routine becomes anchored in intention rather than impulse, you naturally buy less, waste less, and feel more grounded in your choices. And perhaps the most transformative step is reintroducing ritual into beauty. As your uploaded file explores, we've lost something sacred in the rush towards convenience-first living. The slow, the sensory moments that root us back into ourselves. Beauty used to be a ritual: brushing your hair at night slowly, blotting lipstick with care, choosing jewelry with intention. These quiet acts connected us to our bodies and our inner world. Reclaiming them to make getting ready a moment of presence, not performance, is a quiet rebellion against the pace of digital beauty culture. It's choosing to be with yourself rather than rushing to update yourself. And finally, maybe most importantly, we must learn to define beauty on our own terms. Trends will come and go, some in weeks, some in days. But your face, your features, your expression of self, those are constants. They deserve loyalty. They deserve appreciation. They deserve gentleness. Adorn yourself if you choose to. Celebrate your face, decorate it, play with it. but do it because you want to, not because an algorithm decided that a certain blush placement or lip shade is suddenly in. When you consciously choose what beauty means to you, a remarkable thing happens. You stop chasing trends and trends stop having power over you. And cosmetic trends today move faster than ever, whipping past us in a blur of lip combos, blush placements, and aesthetic eras that barely last long enough for us to catch our breath. But behind all that shimmer, behind the glossy marketing, the viral tutorials, the carefully curated get ready with me's, lies a truth that is far from glamorous. These trends are engineered to accelerate. The speed is not an accident, it's a strategy. Profit thrives on our insecurity, on our fear of falling behind, on the subtle pressures to update our faces as often as the algorithm updates our feeds. Somewhere along the way, beauty stopped being a personal ritual and became a public performance measured in likes, shares, and watch times. We are not meant to reinvent ourselves every month, discarding products after a single season or shape-shifting endlessly to keep up with aesthetics that weren't designed to last in the first place. Beauty once functioned as a slow, intimate language of self-expression, a mirror that reflected who we were, not who we were supposed to be. But that meaning has been replaced with momentum, with a kind of aesthetic urgency that pulls us into a race none of us consciously agreed to run. And the unsettling truth is, cosmetic trend cycles were never created for our empowerment. They were created for our exhaustion. The more overwhelmed we feel, the more we buy. The more trends change, the more we chase. Yet exhaustion, when we noticed it, can also be a turning point. It can be a quiet awakening, a moment where we ask ourselves if this endless cycle truly aligns with who we want to be. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below. I always just like vintage makeup looks and vintage inspired looks because I feel like they're more timeless and classic instead of constantly chasing trends. It's just too much for me. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder before you go, if you want to try Kava Haven for yourself, the link is right at the top of the description.